Hello everybody, welcome in. It is Euro Truck Simulator 2 and I had to hop around to a new map location because I wanted to go to this place I've never been to before. It's Szeged. Yep, that's the word, that's what it's called. So we're leaving from Banská, Bystrica to down here. Okay, so we are hauling today a truck full of stuff, obviously. I don't know, truck full of stuff. It seems like wood, but we're at a lumber yard, but obviously it's and you would expect a trailer full of wood, you know, or logs or trees. But today it's just a regular shipping truck. That's what we're going with. So guess I haven't made one of these videos in a minute because I haven't really had too much to talk about. I've been working a lot on my creative work and writing, which is taking up most of my time, and I haven't really traveled, which I do have a couple of stories with that. Let's see, first with my writing, I'm still world building-ish. It's not really world building now, it's more of like diving into the nitty-gritty of everything, like explaining the culture and what goes on in this world. Like, for example, the military or the people who live here. And actually, it's been a really long process. And I guess, let's see, best I can explain this. So I went to my tarot reader. Yes, I'm into esoteric stuff, witches and sorcerers, and I do tarot myself. More stories about that. I really enjoy astrology and that whole esoteric realm and seeing the other side and spirituality. That's all me. I've always been that way, except I've just kept it hidden from people because they just really don't understand. And so ever since I've been living on my own for so long, it's just that is me now. And I am loving it. Anyways, talk to my tarot reader. And this isn't even how the conversation started, where we sit down, we start the reading, and she looks at me and then she goes, "So what do you want to talk about this time?" And I go, let's just let the cards go and see what happens. And then she goes, "Okay, we're going to talk about your career." And I was like, "Damn it. No, you know." And then she goes, "Oh, and you're writing." And I'm just like, "Look, we have not talked about this." So either she watches all my VR videos to get an idea of who I am, which is unlikely because there's so many and I just talk a lot, to where she just knows me. And that's also why she is my tarot reader, or one of them. But anyways, so we go through this talking about my career and how I'm struggling in a certain part where it's like you're writing, and she just sees that it's just like you like to go into every little detail, and you do it because you love it, but also so that you know every little bit of your world as you're writing, so that if somebody questions you, you have the answer. Because that's kind of a fear of your, oh my gosh, watch out there, blue car, economy blue car. And so, and it's been a really long process because yes, she had me correct. I do enjoy knowing everything, so that the story's flushed out. It's like, yes, if somebody asks me a question, I'm just like, oh yeah, it's this. Oh yeah, great idea, but it's about that. Actually, fuel station, give me 1 second, ADD moment here. How much? Half a tank, I'm pretty tired. My tires are flat. Anyway, so, long story short, she's just like, less is more. Just like all your favorite books that you love and that have inspired you to write your own stories, follow what they have done. And I'm sitting there like, how does she know this stuff? Because there's certain books which are from, let's see, the John Carter series, where I read through all 4 or 5 of that guy's books. I forget his name too, the author. But he has this great way of explaining less is more, as in like, character picks up a sword, gets into a fight, wins the fight, but is holding the enemy at sword point. They continue the conversation. And that's simplicity in explaining that scene, instead of like going through like explaining how the swords look and their emotions they're going through, and every step of the fight with the sword battle and stuff. That's all great and wonderful, but and I haven't followed earlier writings. I've fallen in that path, but I've liked to keep things simple. And you have more. I believe that I'll have more impact with my story when I just keep less is more. So, a great tarot reading for me. And if you're watching my videos, thank you so much, tarot reader. You know, I know who you know me. So, anyways, so this is driving this truck right now is the most traveling I have done since I started my intense writing, and I get the most best stories when I go traveling. So, which I guess I've been leaving my apartment and to go to the grocery store, and that all ties into like my esoteric spiritual stuff. Well, first thing doesn't, but I've been having to wear my mask again only for about 2 weeks now when I go out in public, because I've gotten a really a sore throat that's finally clearing after 2 weeks, and I've been coughing and sneezing like crazy, which all have been cleared. And so I've been wearing a mask, so I don't know what that is. And I've watched a news report saying like, well, if you got a sore throat and you're coughing a lot and you sneeze a lot, that's long COVID, blah blah blah. So I decided to just mask myself up to protect the public. But it's very interesting how people see me with a mask on. For example, I was talking to my neighbor a while ago, and it was like our first time talking face to face. And he mentions like, oh, you live right next to me? And I'm like, yes, I do. And he goes, well, no, some other guy lived there first. He wore a mask. He was a real freak. I mean, like, I don't know what his problem was, but he had real issues. And he wore a mask everywhere. And I'm like, yep, that was me. He's like, oh. But no, I mean, like a guy who who drove a blue car. And I'm like, yeah, that was my blue car. And I changed it out, and I have a white Jeep. And he goes, oh, okay, so it is still you. Nice to meet you, Papa. It was a very interesting moment, because the guy called me a freak to my face and didn't apologize. And that's a really interesting. You can tell how people are by the way that they respond to the actions of the words that they say, even if they've said something rude. But they don't apologize for it, or they play it off. I've seen this before too, where it's just like somebody understands that they said something rude to me. They obviously know it pisses me off, and then they throw it off to being, while they say, oh, well, I was just joking. You don't have to get all bent up and shave about it. And it's better to just acknowledge that you were wrong by apologizing. That's the best advice I have to anyone, like my neighbor, where he should have just said, oh man, I'm sorry. Sorry for what I said. I called you a freak to your face. And I was wrong because I didn't really understand your situation you were in. And I explained to him, like, I have multiple sclerosis, and my doctor said for me to wear my mask until the end of 2025. So that's why I was wearing a mask. And so he said, oh, okay, I get it now. So, So now, because he was a older gentleman, senior, not really sure, maybe 70s. But now I kind of know him, or kind of know how he reacts to situations where even if it's his own fault, he'll make up excuses, or he doesn't care. Like he'll just keep doing his thing, even if he's rude or not. So, and that sticks with me, because if somebody who's treated me poorly and they need help, or I look that they are having a bad time, I have a priority list on my people who to help. Watch out, red car. So I might get around to them if they're needing help, or not, or I might just act like, oh, well, you were in trouble and you were calling out for help. No, I really didn't hear anything. Huh, that's crazy. Even though that we're neighbors. No, I wouldn't be that big. But in the back of my mind, I have my giant evil Joker smile going on, and I'm just laughing. No, I'm sorry. I would go with him. But anyways, mask wearing. It's so interesting how different I'm treated in public by wearing a mask. Red light, right? Stopping at a red light, isn't that crazy? So people kind of have tried their hardest to avoid eye contact. Also, when I went to Trader Joe's to check out at the grocery store, there were like 6 or 7 open lanes, and I was ready to like check out, driving my full cart up, and about 3 or 4 registered people like saw me and like turned their back on me. Just kind of like try to look around, try to avoid try to be like, I didn't see the guy in the mask, I don't want to talk to him, I'm afraid he might get me sick, blah blah, And it's so funny how people were treating me because of fear. Except there was a woman who was more than happy to just be like, hey, how's it going? Come on over here. How are you? Like treated me just like anybody else. So it's very interesting times. Talking about Trader Joe's. So getting back into my esoteric conversation, I don't know if anybody else has this happen to them, but I meet people who have a very energetic connection with. For example, I was walking down the freezer aisle that have those open bins on the left and the right, where it's like open-topped freezer bins. You usually walk up to it and kind of like grab out what you want. And so this aisle is as long as the store is. And there was this young woman who was shorter than me, with blonde hair and icy blue eyes, just standing in the middle of the aisle, just with this smile on her face, looking at me. She had to like look up to kind of like look at me, and I'm walking down the aisle, grabbing my usual freezer items, and she's just still just standing there smiling at me. And I stop in front of her for a second, and I'm like, wow, she's powerful. We have some energy here. But I know in public, being a guy and in front of a woman, you're not supposed to like linger, because we're at the grocery store to buy freaking groceries. We're not there to make friendships. Or men don't hit on women at the grocery store, dude. Get your groceries and leave. You want to go out and date somebody? Go to a place where people want to date. Anyways, sorry, done with that. So this blonde-haired, icy, blue-eyed young woman was just looking at me and smiling. And I look at her and I'm just like, hello? Excuse me. And then I step around her to get past. And I thought, wow, there's a really weird situation there. And I'm just like, who was she? And I turned back and it was completely gone. Like she vanished. And that happens to me with a few of these people that I have this type of energetic connection with. And we were in the middle of this aisle, and as I said, it was as long as the store was. And so for me to take 2 to 3 steps away and then turn around and look back, that person must have sprinted to get to the end of the aisle to get around the corner. Ooh, I'm tired. Sorry about that. For her to like disappear like that. It was very strange. And I have mentioned those stories before, where people just talk to me, and then I said, "Oh, that was a strange conversation," and I turn around, they're completely gone. So either that woman sprinted to the end of the aisle to get out of view, or I see spirits, which is pretty cool, actually. What button is it? This one. There we go. Let's go to sleep. Wait. Oh, I gotta stop the engine. That's what that says. Okay, rest. Into the darkness to talk to the spirits. Okay, cool. Oh man, it's raining out. It's always raining out in Europe. Anyways, let's go. I think this is my lights. Yep. This is my, yep. Let's go. This is my, yep. These are my windshield wipers. Onward, everybody. And so this, after that day, there's a very similar looking woman, like the same looking woman, who shows up on my YouTube feeds and is a tarot reader. And she's now always there. Even though that I've watched 1 or 2 of her videos, and she's a great tarot reading. But I haven't liked in her videos, I haven't followed her channel, I haven't done anything, but now she's constantly there in front of my face giving me tarot readings. It's probably like the YouTube algorithm where you'll look at one thing and there's like, so you really like this, don't you? Don't you want to see more of this same thing? I think you do. I think you want to watch it all the time. That's the one who with the icy eyes and saw at Target. Or sorry, excuse me, we don't go to Target anymore. That's on the boycott list. I mean, Trader Joe's. You're going to see it all the time. And I'm like, no, I don't. I freaking don't. I have Sunday, and I want to watch my Lotus Formula 1 racing. I don't want to watch Tarot Girl right now. So it's very strange, these little moments that I have. Talking about tarot cards and people. I had these 2. There's a service that California provides to low-income people like myself and disabled veterans like myself, where it's a program that they give out free phones and tablets. And so they came to my door offering me a free phone. I'm like, I don't think I need it. You can give it to somebody else. And they're just like, but you're a veteran. In our records, you're a veteran. I'm like, yeah, I am at this day. And so we went through this whole process because I really wanted to like train. There was a woman, younger woman, 20s, had a trainer with her who was another like 20-year-old guy. And so I'm just like, fine, you can give me a phone. If it costs nothing and it's part of, I am entitled to it. Sounds great. And so the process was taking so long, it was so hot outside, I invited them inside to my apartment. And as soon as I came inside, it was the most interesting moment for me where I've never had anybody come over in the 3 years that I've lived here. And they just came in and made themselves at home. They were just like, I'm gonna sit here, okay, cool, I'm gonna sit at your table, okay, cool. And they just started like doing their thing, like their guests were hanging out for the day. I was like, this is really strange. And then they started looking around my apartment and they were so excited. They're just like, oh my god, you have a simulation driving rig? That's so cool, I'm into this, I'm into Formula 1 too. Oh my god. And then like the girl is showing her boyfriend, like video chatting with him while showing off my stuff as I go around my apartment to basically look at everything, to like my PC setup, to my virtual reality things, to my books, and the thing that they loved the most was my tarot cards. We're gonna. My customer expects the delivery soon. I know. We're going. I'm struggling up this hill. And they really, these two really were into my tarot cards. They're just like, you do tarot, you were tarot, do me a reading, pull me a card, please. And they were both so excited. The girl was showing like her boyfriend, he wants to do a reading too. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh, all right, guys. And so I sat them down and I just did like a 1-card reading for each of them, explained their cards. They both had really like positive cards. The guy had 3 of Pentacles, which shows mastery of their whatever they're working on, and the group of people that they're working on. Just one element of like the 3 of Pentacles. Let's see. The girl got the Wheel of Fortune, which is great. That's pretty self-explanatory. The wheel always turns, but if you get it and it's right side up, that means that fortune is in your future. Pretty much. But yeah, they were just thrilled, and I kind of had fun. So maybe that's something in the future for me. Just give people tarot readings. I don't know. I use it for my writing. I almost hit that red car. It looks like a sports car. Marin, I hope you're not in that car. I'm so sorry. I didn't get you. Marin's my astrologer of choice. I got a personal reading from her. Let's go, Marin. Let's go. Marin, you have a delivery. You have something to deliver. Move, please. Please and thank you. I love you so much. I'm just gonna push you forward. Yep. Oh my god, Marin. Love you. Thank you for that reading. You knew me exactly. See you later. That's good. Alright, everybody. We're here. Thank you for listening to me and my esoteric awesome stuff. I have a couple more stories for next time. And, yeah. Should we... play it safe today? Sure. Oh wow, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you're stuck with me for a few more minutes. Let's go, buddy. Me. Yes. Oh, oops. It's this button. Job complete. Excellent. It should be perfect. It should be top shelf. Perfect. Heck yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. And then I will see you next time. Yes, I won't be doing as many of these truck driving races because I'm about to race next. But I will keep doing them until we've explored the rest of Europe. We got 2 more cities to visit there, and then we got all of Italy. So thanks for listening. Bye-bye. See you next time.